What is up, YouTube? This your boy Omut, and I'm bringing you another Call of Duty commentary. I'm using a combo Type 25 with assault rifle, with the sniper rifle. I'm sorry. And little tip: if you use an ACOG scope with the sniper rifle, one, you don't get to see as far, but that makes no sway on the gun, which makes it a little bit easier to use. I'm not a sniper myself. I tend to use the sniper rifle in conjunction with an assault rifle or an SMG, strictly for fun and just for kind of messing around, not really if I'm actually trying hard to get gameplays and to win. But I kind of wanted to use this video and this time to talk about an experience that I recently had. And for those of you who saw my video on New Year's and New Year's resolutions, I had made a decision that this year my goal was to have more fun, experience new things, and to use this year to take the time for myself and experience things that either I never thought I would be able to do or thought things I didn't think I could do. And as a direct result, we're sitting in March, end of March, beginning of April, and I've already knocked two items off my bucket list. One was seeing one of my favorite bands in concert who, every single time they've come around, it's kind of, I've been kind of hindered in seeing them. And then the other one of those was going to a midnight release of a game, and that's kind of what I want to get into. And then also this year, my goal is to also make it out to PAX. Unfortunately, I missed PAX out in Boston, but my goal is to hit up the one out in Seattle. I'll let you know if I actually end up making it to PAX Prime. A big part of it's going to kind of how does it align with my work schedule. Can I afford to take the time off? If everything works out great and I could take it off, I'll let you guys know. I'll post stuff in my Twitter. I'd love to do some meetups with you guys. We'll have a good time while I'm out there. But back to the one thing I was able to do, which was a midnight release. Now, I've always kind of been on this philosophy when it comes to midnight releases that it never really was my cup of tea. Partially because staying up to midnight and then driving to a store and then getting a game and then going back home usually wasn't what my idea of a good time was, because I had thought, oh, I'm going to get the game. By the time I get home, I'm going to be tired. I'm not really going to want to play, or if I do play, it's not going to be as enjoyable as if I tackle it with, a fresh set of eyes and being awake. And for a long time, that kind of ever hindered me on actually really wanting to do it. And then when BioShock Infinite was released, I was kind of put in this weird situation because of work, in which I was being asked to work in a different location, which is a good hour or two away from where I normally pick up my games. That if I did not go and pick it up at the midnight release, it was going to be about 2 or 3 days before I could actually make it to the GameStop, and pick up my copy of the game. And there was no way that I was going to wait that long to get BioShock, because I just couldn't wait to get my hands on it and really dive into. So far, I'm about halfway through, quarter of the way through the game, what I think is the game of the year and one of the best games that I've ever played. It's a must pick up if you have it. So I made this decision, and I went down to my local GameStop, and it was a lot of fun. It was not at all what I'd expected. Well, part of it was. I mean, the people dressed up in costumes and acting crazy. That kind of was. And the people who, stereotypical gamer, I should say, the overweight, smelly, as well as the weed smoking variety. Oh, watch this. I think I get a 5-man lightning strike here. Yeah, watch it roll. They were there. But for the most part, the atmosphere was one of gamers who were there for a singular purpose, and that was to, one, talk about the BioShock series that they love, and BioShock 1 and 2, and to get excited and pumped and amped for playing the new one. But they also, at the place I was at, they set up these gaming stations all over the building, and there was tournaments of golf. There was some card people playing. There was some Halo stuff, and the GameStop really kind of decked it out, and they did it right. So if you showed up, 20 minutes early, 30 minutes early, and you can meet with people, play games, even card top games, and a lot of people had their DSs and their Vitas there, and they were swapping stuff back and forth. And as it got close to midnight, they ended up doing these really cool raffles in which the store had received, I think it was like 5 or 6 pieces of artwork that tied into the game, and they raffled off each one of those as well as a big one of those big posters. So if you pass by like an EB Games or a GameStop, they have those massive like 3 foot by like 3 foot tall posters of the BioShock Infinite, and they raffled that off, and it was all free. All you had to do was just pay off the remaining balance on your game, and they gave you a ticket. Um, I was fortunate enough that I won the raffle for one of the pieces of artwork, and you're going to see that on the screen now. It's pretty cool. It's printed out on like a cardstock, um, and when I got it, I had no clue what I was looking at. And even now, kind of get what I'm looking at. Not really. It's an interesting game, but so I picked that up and ended up leaving at about 12:05, 12:10. I didn't really stick around too much after the initial giving of the games, but it was pretty cool because it's kind of like what you see in a lot of the news things when the first person gets the copy of the game, or everybody lines up and they say, "All right, it's time to sell the games," and the guy walks up and he hands him the receipt, and the guy picks up the game and he's like, "Oh!" and everyone's cheering. Don't quite get it, but it's okay. He runs out the store, and then you kind of wait and you snake your way through the line, which wraps around the building, and you pick it up and you walk out. And then I drove back home. It took me about like 20 minutes to get home, and I was all jazzed and excited to play it. And then it dawned on me, oh God, I've got to be up in 3 hours and get to work. So I didn't get a chance to play it that night, but luckily because I had picked it up at midnight, I was able to play it the next day. But this kind of brings me to one of my points that I tried to make in the New Year's Eve video, and I'm going to try to make it again today, is don't ever let your fear or your insecurities stop you from doing something you've always wanted to do. And don't let preconceived notions dictate to you, to whether or not you're going to do something or not. For years, like I said, I'd always kind of looked at midnight releases, and it just never really was my thing. The thought of staying up late and then standing in line with a bunch of, gamers who may or may not take care of themselves just to pick up a game and then go back to bed. Who'd want to do that? And then finally, when I let myself go, I opened myself up to the experience, and I just went out there just to truly enjoy myself. I just had a blast, and I'm glad I did it. Would I do it again? Depending on the game, yes. And also depending on the situation going on with how my life is. But it's definitely something I think that anybody who's a true gamer and true lover of a franchise should try at least once. Let me know in the comments below whether or not you've done it before. And as always, have a good day.